Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of my career mode series. This is 2 episodes in 2 days. Hopefully, this becomes a more regular occurrence now that my school year is winding down, and in a week I will be done with college, and so I'm super happy about that. But next up, we have a game against Borussia Dortmund, and they are probably the most difficult opponent that we could have drawn in this first knockout round. So I just want to motivate the boys, tell them that they can do it, but we need to be ruthless up top and solid in the back. We can't give up those stupid mistakes like we have all year, and when we get chances, we need to bury those if we have any chance of having a good position when we go to Germany. We are playing this first game at home, and that is an advantage. We play in front of our own home fans, and we can really give them a show. And from the beginning, we were looking quite dangerous from this throw, and Dortmund are sloppy and give it away to Lucas Silva, and he has a long-range shot just bounce off of the post. And from this free kick, we go extremely close with Tony Vilhena, but it was not enough, and Robert Lewandowski, with his head of magic, puts that into the back of the net in the 19th minute, and we were behind against Dortmund. And the Germans were not done with their attack. Robert Lewandowski, once again, with his backwards bicycle kick, but it is easily held by Alphonse Areola. But then Perisic goes through on goal, but Joris Akori brings him down and injures him, but also in that process gives away a penalty, which is not what we need to be doing right now. We cannot go too behind at this early stage of the game, and Robert Lewandowski steps up and misses the shot. That is extremely lucky for us, and we are lucky to go into halftime only behind a goal against the very ruthless Borussia Dortmund. I had hoped that after the restart we would see some better form, but the Germans are once again on the attack, and Robert Lewandowski puts that in for his second goal of the game, making up for that missed penalty. But Jesse Rodriguez tells his teammates we cannot give up, and this falls to Lucas Silva, the young Brazilian, puts that into the back of the net in the 59th minute, and we were in with a shout. Jesse Rodriguez once again on the attack, but misses that signature curled effort, and we end this game losing 2-1 in the first leg to Borussia Dortmund. And we will have our work cut out for us in Germany if we have any hope of reversing that horrible result. We need to blunt the influence of players like Robert Lewandowski, like Mario Götze, if we have any chance of winning these games against bigger opponents that quite frankly have a lot more quality than we do. But the perfect game to bounce back from a loss like that is a game against Norwich City in the FA Cup, a competition that we have been doing exceedingly well in. And Norwich really isn't that strong of a side, so we should be able to get some goals and get our confidence back up. And our first chance comes from Pablo Sarabia, a player that hasn't been playing that much, but what a shot into the upper 90 in the 28th minute, and he gets our first goal of the game. Pablo Sarabia once again is bombing down that right side, passes it into Semid Yesil, and Yesil just buries that one into the back of the net, dinks it in off the post, and in the 37th minute, we are up 2-0. And moments later, it is once again Pablo Sarabia starting off this move, passes it to Kimi Augustin. Augustin has a shot with his left foot. It is kept out by the keeper, but Semid Yesil is there to pounce on the rebound, does extremely well to get that under control and put it into the back of the net. And that is how we go into halftime, absolutely dominating this game, 3-0 against Norwich City. And in the dressing room, Norwich must have got an earful from their manager because they came out looking much more dangerous and pull a goal back in the 59th minute. But the gulf in quality was there for all to see, and Semid Yesil cuts inside and gets his second goal of the game in the 67th minute, and we were up 4-1. From this corner, Clarence Lade has a very nice header kept out by the keeper, and that is how this game would end, us up against Norwich City 4-1. A great victory in the FA Cup, and we are through to the next round of this great competition. I believe this is one of our only chances at silverware this season, so we need to keep this kind of form going. But next up, we have our second leg up against Borussia Dortmund, this time in Dortmund. And so this is going to be an even more difficult game against one of the most potent attacking forces in world football. So we need to get goals by the bucket, because I have a feeling we're not going to walk out of here with a clean sheet, and they already have 2 away goals in their pocket, and so we need to be ruthless. But of course, Dortmund would come out guns a-blazing, and it would be the head of Robert Lewandowski giving Dortmund yet another goal in the 32nd minute, and it was not looking good going into halftime, behind 1-0 against Dortmund. And after some sloppy passing from the back and a horrible goal kick, Dortmund are gifted another chance, but luckily they miss it. But the mistakes continue, and we give Dortmund yet another penalty, this time from Dwight Tiendali. And Robert Lewandowski is going to step up and not miss this time. He fakes out the goalkeeper and puts it to the right for yet another goal. We needed to get back into this game, and Leandro gives us a lifeline in the 66th minute, and now we just needed 3 more goals to have a chance against Dortmund. And in the 80th minute, it would be the man for the big occasion, Jesse Rodriguez, getting our 2nd goal of the game. But it would not be enough to turn the tide on this tie, and we would lose 4-3 on aggregate against Borussia Dortmund. We fought valiantly, but the mistakes we made were just too much to handle. And just 2 days later, we have a match against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and we cannot play our first string in this game. They are just too tired from that battle against Borussia Dortmund, so we have to put in our second team. People like Yesel, Routledge, Carroll, Pablo Sarabia, and Clarence Lade, and hopefully they have enough quality to put this game to bed. But it would be Doumbia who puts a wonderful shot into the back of the net, and our backup goalkeeper, Francois Arnaulin, really should have done much better there. And after some more sloppy play at the back, we would concede yet another penalty. This is getting just ridiculous. It looked quite soft there, but Wolverhampton would step up and miss it. We are extremely lucky to not go 2 behind there. But Wolverhampton would not stop their relentless attack, and we would once again concede. This time it would be Ebanks Blake putting that one into the back of the net in the 32nd minute. But we would finally get on the attack. Pablo Sarabia feeding that to Bartley. Bartley giving it to Simon Yesel, and Yesel does extremely well to get his feet sorted out and put that chance away. But Wolverhampton were not done with their attack, and Ebanks Blake would put in a ridiculous cross, and Saka would meet it with an even more ridiculous header, and they would get their 3rd goal of the game. Going into halftime, we were trailing Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-1. And to make matters worse, we concede yet another penalty. This time it is Bartley, and they make no mistake this time around, putting it right down the middle. Griffiths gets their 4th goal of the game in the 49th minute. Try as we might, we could just not get a sniff of this ball, and to finish out this humiliating loss, Sacco gets yet another goal, this time from a sweetly struck volley. And Wolverhampton have 5 goals, but Wayne Routledge would finally get the ball through on goal. He has to score this, and he does with his left foot, curling that one beyond the goalkeeper. But we still lose this game 5-2 against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I let the boys know you should be ashamed of yourselves. They showed today why they are not my first choice players. That was absolutely disgraceful. But we get an interesting email from Manchester City. They want me to come on as their manager. And that is quite a tempting offer, to be honest. But of course I reject it. We need to bring Swansea to the heights of European football. We need to at least win a cup with them. And strangely, Manchester City win the Capital One Cup. They're obviously doing okay, so I don't know why they're wanting to fire their manager. But next up, we have a game to restore our honor against Wigan Athletic. We have our first choice players back, and they should be more than enough to dispatch this team that really are at the bottom of the table most years. They really don't do that well. They just survive relegation, but they are never achieving anything like we are achieving at Swansea. But I am forced to eat my words as Wigan comes out fighting, and Baselli sweetly strikes that volley and puts that one into the back of the net very early in the 3rd minute. It becomes abundantly clear that we need to be on our A game if we want to win this game, and Tony Vilhena shows why he is such a promising young midfielder in the 12th minute, pulls our goal back. And just like that, we re-seize the initiative. Leandro burns down that left side, gives the ball to Lucas Silva, but Lucas Silva puts that one wide. After that miss, Wigan would go back on the attack, and it would be Aruna Kone just nodding that one home easy as can be in the 23rd minute, and Wigan were back on top, but Jesse Rodriguez could not stand for that. He cuts back into the middle and gives the defender no choice but to foul him, and he draws the penalty. Very well played from the young Spaniard, and he shoots that one just as well, putting it into the top netting in the 40th minute, and we were once again level. We now had to grab this game by the throat and get another goal before halftime, and Tony Vilhena does just that, burying that chance in the 45th minute right before the stroke of halftime, and we go into the half leading Wigan Athletic 3-2. But Wigan wanted to keep this game like a knockdown, drag-out boxing match, and they would throw their next punch through Aruna Kone, who puts that one into the back of the net in the 49th minute, and we were once again level. But we would once again return to dominance when the pace of Christian Atsu meets the quality finishing of Leandro, and we were once again on top. And we would finally put this game to bed from a very sweetly struck shot from Lucas Silva in the 90th minute, and this game would end us up against Wigan Athletic 5-3. Alright guys, that is where this episode will end. A like or a subscription is always appreciated. I really hope you enjoy the series, and any kind of suggestions or anything you'd like to see in this series is always taken into account. So guys, just be sure to leave a comment, leave a like, because a comment from you guys always brightens my day. Alright guys, I hope you have a great week and a great rest of the day. And I will see you next episode. Alright guys, bye.